everything that happens in the world in Kali Yuga vis-a-vis what happens in Sangam Yuga. And both these worlds are very different. So I was just thinking that, in Kali Yuga, the more knowledge you have, the more confused you become, or the more stressed you become. Yes, is it true? I have seen very educated people in the world and very, very confused and stressed. Yes, and why? Because what we call knowledge in the world is the knowledge of factors we can't control. You are increasingly learning about things you can't control. So what we call knowledge in the world is all about the world of matter. It's about, this drama, predestined drama. And in this predestined drama, we are learning about, how things are and how people are and what happened and what led to what. And we are learning about these things, but we are learning about what the problems are. We are learning about how the problems came about. But in the world, there are no solutions. So you are always learning about the problems, you are learning about the cause of the problems, you are learning about the 5 elements of nature, but understanding all of that is only giving us more and more stress and blame. So, this is why this is happening and this is how this is happening, and then we can't control this and we can't control that. And then we are making desperate attempts to control everything. So all that is leading to a lot of desperation and fear and, a short-term ego boost, yes, sometimes. But otherwise, increasingly, discontentment is increasing. Do you agree with this? Yes. So these days, anybody has a disease, what they first do is they go on Google and learn everything about the disease. So there's so much information available, you can learn everything about the disease. And then you can learn that, this treatment has this side effects and that treatment has that side effects, and there is no treatment which doesn't have any side effects. And then even before you go to the doctor, you are prepared for disaster, because when you go to the doctor will give you either of the treatments which you don't trust anyway, because you've learned too much about the side effects of the treatment. So it is all about, it is all about matter, and mostly the study that we do in the world is about the 5 elements of matter, which are tamo pradhan right now. So learning about their tamo pradhanta doesn't help. So the more you know that they are out of control and they are behaving erratically, the more stressed you become. Or when in the world there are 2 kinds of studies, study of elements, study of human behavior. And when you are learning about human behavior also, what are you learning? So there is sociology, there is psychology, so there is anthropology. There are many, many sciences which talk about humans and human behavior. But then they are all talking about the present sanskar. They are all making you more and more aware of the present sanskars of souls. And if you have a lot of awareness of the present sanskars of souls, the present sanskars are very messed up. Yes, so they are not the pure and peaceful ones. They are all the difficult ones. And if you keep them in your awareness and in your heart, it will make you very scared to connect with people. Yes, this is what is happening. So, and these days, when people come to the center, also sometimes, they will say that I'm stuck with a narcissistic person or a toxic person. And I ask them, how do you know they are narcissistic and toxic? So they say, I have, there's a lot of information available, and I have matched their sanskars with those information, and I know that this is the label that they deserve. So, just think about it. You're living under one roof with a person, and all the time what you have in your awareness is this is toxic. So, and if it is so toxic, why don't you leave? That's the question. But you know that you can't leave. So when you can't leave, then why, make your life more miserable by all the time saying this is toxic, toxic? Yes, so there are some people, they eat food and then they'll say, this has pesticide, this has insecticide. So when you can't do away with, food, then why always, give that extra dose of awareness into the food that this is bad for my health? So what you're doing is already it is injected with insecticide and pesticide, and you are injecting it with a more difficult thing, which is again negative thoughts into it. So this is how the world is, and understanding psychologies, understanding human behavior is in the world. It is all about understanding their present sanskars. But the more you learn about somebody's present sanskars, because the present sanskars are not good. So, they are all coming from Ravan, so they are not good at all. So then when you hold that in your awareness, your life becomes more miserable. Yes, and that is why people ultimately said ignorance is bliss. Because whatever you know is making you more miserable, so not knowing is the way out. But Baba says no, knowledge is the way to bliss, not ignorance. So not knowledge that the world gives us, but knowledge that Baba gives us. Baba doesn't give us the knowledge of that which we cannot control. Yes, there are many factors which we cannot control. And what does Baba say? It is drama. Yes, and Baba says, whenever there is a factor, because we are in this last phase, last stage, so there are so many things which are an outcome of the past. So there has been this whole journey from Satyug to Kaliyug, and there has been so much vikarma, collective and individual. So, not I alone, but the whole of humanity has been under the guidance of Ravan or the misguidance of Ravan. And for 2500 years, both individual and collective vikarma has multiplied. So right now we understand that there will be many things from nature, from people, in relationships, coming from the body, coming from situations, which will be absolutely not in our control. And Baba says, when you encounter that stuff, just remember this is drama. And when you say drama, put a full stop. So Baba has given us this beautiful mechanism that whenever you see things which are not going your way, which are not according to your taste, which look very difficult to manage, just remember this is drama. And when you think about drama, just apply a full stop. So drama is the third bindu. Yes, so it is the full stop. And Baba says, whenever something is in the drama, that means you can't do anything about it. Don't think about it. That's the best you can do about it. Because the more you think about it, the more out of control you will feel in your life. Yes, you will feel like, there are so many factors which I cannot control, and I'm messed up, and I'm not in good state, I'm not in control, I'm not in power, and that doesn't help. So Baba has given us this one Srimad for that which we cannot control. And then Baba has given us all the knowledge of the soul and of Baba. And Baba says that I don't educate you about your present sanskars that you're very aware of. I educate you about who you originally are. And that is true knowledge which you need, that who am I originally? And I educate you about who you are as God's child, and how powerful, how capable you are. And I educate you about your divinity, about your purity. And this is true knowledge. So in the world, what we study makes us more and more miserable, because it's all about the drama. You are just just bringing to your awareness that those factors which cannot be controlled. And then here we understand about our powers, our virtues, our divinity, and then also the method of remembrance through which we can come back to our divinity. So Baba says that I am your father, I am your teacher. So Baba has given us the introduction of himself. And in today's Murli, Baba says that you must tell everybody that God is not without name and form. So, people say that, God is beyond name and form, and you cannot meet him. There is no point of connection between the soul and God. And these things have entered our buddhi. But Baba says, now you must tell everybody the full introduction of Shiv Baba. And who is Shiv Baba? So Shiv Baba is not just, a point of light, but he is the ocean of knowledge, ocean of virtues. And he gives us the true knowledge. So when you introduce Baba, then that soul comes to know the knowledge also. Yes, so if you make someone meet, so if somebody, you make someone meet somebody who is a good singer, then you will obviously listen to their singing also, because a good singer means somebody who sings. And if you haven't heard them sing, then what kind of a singer is he? So Baba says, I am the knowledgeful, I am the motion of knowledge. So when you know me, you know knowledge. When you know me, you know peace. When you know me, you know purity. So Baba says, introduce everybody to Baba and let everybody know that Baba is not beyond form and beyond name. Baba has a name, Shiv Baba, and Baba has a form, a point of light, and Baba has an address, and then Baba has qualities, functions. So they should all become aware of that. And then Baba is my father, my teacher, my Satguru. Basically all relations, but primarily Baba says, introduce me to everybody that I am the father, teacher and Satguru. Yes, so what do you do to what is the relationship of a child with a father? What is the relationship of a child with a father? Have you ever thought about it? So, when the child is little, So basically that's the time there is a relationship between the child and a father. Later on, that's a very distorted relationship. So when the child is little, then the relationship is of, unconditional love, but unconditional love from the parent, but unconditional surrender from the child. Yes, so the child also has unconditional surrender to the parent. Yes, the child doesn't second guess the father's directions, does he? So when you are a child, your only go-to person is your father or your parent. And whatever they say, you do. Yes, you don't ever say that, I know better than you. But you start doing that when you grow up. So Baba says that, be a little child to me. And Baba in the Murli today says that, tell everybody that Baba is my parent, my teacher, my Satguru. But now that we have Baba's introduction and knowledge, let me ask myself, am I that little child of Baba still? So, I have to be that little child, bachpan ke din. So I have to be in this godly childhood. And when I am in godly childhood, then in this childhood, I have unconditional surrender to Baba. I don't exercise my brain in what Baba is saying. I just take it as he says and just do it. So that is bachpan ke din. And Baba says, you have to be like this little child to me, who is totally obedient, unconditional surrender. And have you seen that when a little child unconditionally surrenders to a physical parent also, the physical parent feels bound to do everything for the child. Yes, so they also, that instinct tells them that this child can't help himself, so I am the only one who has to do everything for the child. So the child gets everything without asking. Yes, and then slowly, gradually, when we grow up, that equation is lost. Then there is communication gap between the parent and child also. Yes, and the children say, you didn't understand, and the father said, you speak very well, all day you are shouting, so you could have spoken. If that was the case, why didn't you talk? You're talking all day. So when I say something, you can snap, you can answer back. So why can't you just express what's there in your heart? You could have told. And the child says, you should have understood. You understood me always. But the parent says, no, not anymore. I can't understand you just like that now. You have to speak up. So, and the more they speak, the miscommunication grows. That's how it happens when we grow up. So, Baba says, you grew up once and messed it up. Don't grow up here. Be that small child to Baba always. Have that unconditional surrender to Baba always. And Baba says, if you step away from this, then you will have to cry. So the song is Bachpan ke din bhulana dena, aaj hanse kal rulana dena. So today you are laughing because you become my child, you're doing everything according to me. That's why there's again this smile back on your face. But the moment you stop doing that, stop and stop this unconditional surrender, again you will go back to crying and wailing and being sorry and sorrowful. So Baba says, take care of this. Do everything according to what I tell you. And what Maya does is, Maya will always tell you, now I know too much. Now I can be on my own. Now I don't have to be like this small child who does everything on Baba's Srimad. Yes, so Maya makes you, Baba's Maya will always try to, disturb your timetable, disturb everything. And Maya will tell you that, this much is okay. Now you are a 5-year-old BK. Now you're not a child anymore. You don't have to pay so much attention to the Murli. You already know many things. Yes, Maya tells you that, does it not? Maya will tell you, how much Murli have you studied, and don't you understand already what is there in the Murli? Why do you have to pay so much attention to the Murli? Now you are an old child. And then we start not paying attention to the Murli. Then Maya says, you meditated too much, now you are a yogi. Even in your sleep you are in yoga. Why do you have to get up and meditate? Yes. Or when you are a sevadhari, especially Maya talks to us like this, already you are doing 18 hours of seva. Everything is yoga only. You don't have to especially get up in the morning. Every time you are in seva, you are in yoga only. So you don't have to do extra yoga, it's okay. So Maya will always give us these things. And then Baba says, then you slowly, so most children here in this class are young. So, you are still in your childhood and you're paying attention. But once you go, 5 years, 10 years, then all this Maya comes in, this kind of Maya. So, I already know, I've already done that, been there. So that kind of thing comes. And then you slowly are removed from the canopy of Baba. So Baba says, no, be a child. A child holds the hand of the father. Yes, so all the time you see children, they are holding the hands. Yes, and have you seen that even when children go to somewhere else, maybe the park, maybe some place of amusement, and they are with their parents, so they will go with them, they will play, they will look like they are very immersed in the play, but when the mother starts to leave or the father starts to leave, the child will run. He will leave the toys, everything, and run with the mother and the father. And the child knows that I can only enjoy until my parent is here. If they are living, I have to leave. And then they will say, you continue playing, I will come back. And no, I have had enough, now I have to go. So Baba says, you are also allowed to enjoy everything, but only when it is in Srimad. Whenever there is Srimad, there is Baba. When you are doing everything on Baba's direction, there is Baba. And the moment you cross Baba's canopy of Srimad, yes, wrong food, wrong thought, yes, vicious behavior, anything that is not according to Srimad, then Baba is leaving. Baba has told us, ya to baap hoga ya paap hoga. So where there is paap, you have chosen paap, I leave. I don't stay there. And if you're a little child, you will also leave. You will not be with paap. Yes, so Baba says that not in your thought, not in your word, not in your action. There should be no paap. And Baba says that when you live life like this, like a child, that you are holding Baba's hand of Shrimad and you always take care. So Baba doesn't say, cry all day or sulk all day or have a sad, miserable, boring life. No. Baba says enjoy everything. Enjoy food, but sattvic food. Food cooked in Baba's remembrance. Food that is offered in bhog to Baba. Yes? Baba doesn't say don't eat. Baba doesn't say don't dress. Baba says dress. But dress with simplicity, medium dressing. Yes? Not something that your buddhi will get stuck into. Yes? So when you wear something, have you seen you wear a new dress and all your focus is on the dress. Your buddhi can't see anything else. So Baba says, I don't ask you to remain shabby. Be clean, comb your hair, take care of your appearance. Nobody's stopping you from that. But don't do anything which is extra and which will pull your buddhi. Yes, so your appearance, your dressing shouldn't pull your buddhi. It should be appropriate and simple and something that you can just put on and relax. You don't have to think about it, or it doesn't pull your attention. And if 100 people are very aware of what you're wearing or how you're looking, so that will also always keep your buddhi engaged in that. So you have to, so Baba says this is all Shrimad for what to wear, what to eat, how to eat, yes, how to enjoy. So Baba says, I don't ask you to not have conversation, but that conversation shouldn't involve waste talk or, talk which is based on vices. So vicious conversation, wasteful conversation, no. Yes, talk, but that talk should be knowledgeful. It doesn't have to sound knowledgeful. It has to be knowledgeful. Do you understand the difference between the two? You could be discussing world politics in a knowledgeful way. Yes, yesterday what Baba did was discuss world politics. Did he not? He told us political science, how to rule in Sangam Yug, how to rule in Satyug. So he is discussing politics, but he is telling us what is the important element in politics. So when it is about ruling the world, the important element is love. When it is about ruling the self, the important element is self-control. So Baba says you could talk about everything knowledgefully. So Baba says whenever you are, in this whole, in this maryada of Shrimad, so within this boundary of Shrimad, you enjoy just like a child. But as soon as the line is crossed, Baba is going, so you also leave. No enjoyment there. So that conversation you have to withdraw from, that whole thing you have to withdraw from. Where there is no Baba, I am also not there. So Baba says, you have to be this child to me. I am your father and you have to be this child to me. And only when you become this child, you will be protected. You will be protected from sorrow and also being sorry. And the next thing Baba says is, I'm your teacher and you are a godly student. So don't forget, I am Baba's little child. Little child. Little is very important. Big ones are useless. no use. So be Baba's little child and be Baba's. So, and it is true in the world and in Alaukik Parivar. So even if I am a 30-year child of Baba, I have to be that little child. Yes, fully surrendered. My buddhi doesn't go anywhere. That kind of surrender I need. And it's in the world also, people say that protect your innocence. It's a very beautiful thing. In the world it is said, but this protecting your innocent and your childhood is a very big task. And Baba's children are, even when they are little children, they are who are they? Master knowledgeful. So they are not those children who do childish things. So we are children in these aspects, but we are pretty mature because we are Baba's children. So that's also there. So a lion's cub will be like a lion. Yes, a cow's calf will be like a cow. So Baba's children will be like Baba, even as children. Yes, and so I am a child, but I am not childish child because I am Baba's child. And then I am so many things because I have this unconditional surrender to Baba. So Baba says, be a child, don't behave childish. Behaving childish is not being a child. Yes, so we are Baba's children and we have to continue to keep that innocence and that surrender alive. And that is very important because Baba says, once that is lost, you have to cry. And then Baba today says that you are a godly student, don't forget that. So I'm a child and a student, and when you're children, you're students also, right? So, and when you are a student, then have you seen little children, students, all day they are only worried about their teacher and their padai, nothing else. Yes, so children cannot forget the teacher and the study. That's the quality of the children. Yes, you tell them anything, they will say, my teacher told this. Anything on earth, they have an answer. My teacher said this, my teacher said that, my teacher says this, my teacher behaves like this. Yes, so, and some children come back home and tell, Mummy, why don't you dress like my teacher? They also do that. So, so they love their teacher like anything. So Baba says, you have to be that child who doesn't forget the teacher, Baba, and the teaching. And whatever you do, no problem. So, children go and fetch bread from the market, they bring milk, they dust, they do so many things, Parents make their children work hard also many times. But then in all that, they will not forget their study and their teacher. And they are very particular about time. Children have a timetable. Yes. You were most disciplined as children, were you not? When you are in school, you are the most disciplined. So, timetable, study, and teacher. These are the signs of a student. And I am a godly student. Don't forget that. I am a godly student. No messing with the timetable. Always awareness of the teacher and the teaching, come what may, and whatever I do. So Baba says, remember this, that in the world nobody is giving you the right teaching. I'm the only one. So good parenting, right teaching, absent in the world today. But here now I am your parent and teacher, and behave accordingly, because I am the perfect parent and the perfect teacher, but you also have to be the child and the godly student, because the relationship is always two-way. Okay?